What's up, guys? Welcome to Grease Lightning Reactions. We're here for the preview of Winter 2017. I usually do these seasonally. If you haven't been haven't seen any of my previous videos where I've done this, basically I do a rundown of each of the shows. To maybe go through some of the studio stuff. I've done some research beforehand, going over the plot, what I know of it, anything related, like staff on board, whether I'm going to live react to it or not. Red means that I will not be watching it at all. Yellow usually means that I'm going to watch it on my own. And then green is usually live reactions. And that's probably how it's going to work this time. These are subject to change. I could drop them. I could add something. And you guys are free to let me know if you are well aware of something, like if you've read the source material or something and you know for a fact this is going to be amazing. Just to keep it on my radar, let me know. I've done that in the past. Also, if you have been, if you watch Gintama with me, I did do the unlisting of the previous season. What I'm going to be also doing starting today, it's going to take a little bit, but in my description there should be my Facebook group, Grease Lightning Reactions, request to join. I will be putting the Konosuba reactions on there, as well as the Gintama other reactions that are privated, as well as my Rakugo. Those are the three shows that I'm going to be unlisting for a little while at least. I'm trying to think if I want to keep them out there even when I'm out on vacation, but we'll see about that. I don't have too much time, so I had to scramble this together. So if it's not as in depth as usual, I also think that this season is actually a lot weaker than a lot of seasons. So probably gonna be shorter, but last time I said that it was like an hour long. So let's get started. So first of all, Akiba's Trip, the animation. I actually knew about Akiba's Trip from the game. This is based off of the game. I'm pretty sure it was a game before it was anything else. And all I knew about it was that I think Giant Bomb played it, and it had something to do with shooting off girls' clothing. And if you watch the trailer, you see a lot of girls, well, not a lot of, there's a lot of chest close-ups, there's bra and panties, So the gist of the story is that there's these things called synthesizers, who feed off of social energy, whatever that means, and a person's will to live, and they're weak to sunlight. So of course, something that you would end up doing if that is the case is rip off their clothing so they're subjugated to the sun, and I don't know what happens when that happens, but poof, and they go away. What I will say is that the trailer is a little too epic for its own good. I watched the trailer and I was like, wait, this trailer, this music, these kinds of scenes, do they really go together? I don't know. The art and animation's pretty good. Gonzo's done a few good shows, actually. They did Count of Monte Cristo, Welcome to the NHK, Full Metal Panic, and the original Hellsing. So those aren't bad. In the Count of Monte Cristo's case, that is a fantastic show. If you haven't watched Count of Monte Cristo, make sure you watch that. If you like drama, if you like very, very unique aesthetic, so it's a pretty mature tale. I'd say it's based off of the book Count of Monte Cristo with a anime spin of it. And then Welcome to the NHK is also a show that I have not watched. I watched episode 1, part of it, in Anime Club when I was in college. I don't remember much of it, but that's also something I want to eventually watch. So this studio also did that. So if you're into that, I mean, I don't see any tags on it right now, but it would be ecchi. I don't know if it's comedy or what, but it seems like that there's one guy. This is the dude, I think, and then these chicks. And this guy has glowing hair. This chick has glowing hair. They're both half and half for some reason. I don't exactly know why, but that's there if you want it. Okay, so moving on, we have Masamune-kun no Revenge. So this is actually one of this. I really liked the art of this trailer. These character designs are really good. The story was kind of meh, just because it seemed like another one of those high school drama shows. It's like it says comedy, ecchi, slice of life, romance. It's about this kid that was made fun of by this one girl. I don't know if it was just the girl, but he was really like overweight, and this girl just wouldn't leave him alone. He comes back, he becomes like perfect. He's really good at everything, school, sports. He's a little bit good looking. All the girls are fawning over him. And he gets back to the school. Well, I guess he transfers over, and he wants to basically like get revenge. Like, look at me now. Like, oh, you wish you had me. Like something like that. That this girl is very pouty. Looks very stuck up. And I think that he comes back and he's like falls back in love with her. So yeah. As far as Silverlink, they did the Fate Khalid series, as well as the Tanaka-kun Listless, the one about the guy who's too lazy to do anything. That show. And staff on it, I didn't really find anything of significance that I could point to that I was familiar with. All right. Urara Meirocho. So the first thing that immediately stood out about this show for me was JC Staff. I'm actually like JC Staff came out of nowhere for me. They are so good at everything that they do. It's crazy. Like every series, I'm serious. Like that I've come across, they've been at least decent to good. I just don't want to watch like. Last season there was like something about a diving show. This time it's this, and I think they have another series as well. It's gonna look good, first of all. They put a lot of effort into this, and I don't even think it's that big of a studio. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't know. It seems like to me that they're not. And just to name a few, Food Wars was the first one I watched by them. And then Prison School, which is like one of my favorite comedies ever. Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? That's kind of meh, but I mean, that was enjoyable. And then they did Bakuman as well. And then they also did Flying Witch, which I actually should finish. I only watched part of it. JC Staff, I think, also did they do Sweetness and Lightning as well? I think they did that one too. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but Shimoneta, Heavy Object was one I dropped. That might have been the only one I tried watching. Shimoneta I just couldn't handle. I could not handle it at all. And the director of Shimoneta is directing this. Maybe I can go back and watch. I actually heard it was a pretty good series. Maybe someday. But story-wise, it's about these girls that come together. I think it's all girls. There's this area. They're all trying to become these diviners. And Urara... the first name of the title is basically the top position in the diviners, and if you achieve that, you get that title. And this girl wants to be that person. I mean, there was no PV, so I didn't really see exactly how it looked in motion. But the art looks good enough in this little picture. But yeah, just gonna skip over that. This next one we're gonna skip too because I didn't find any other information. I did see a little bit of a trailer which looked kind of okay. Like, it didn't tell me anything, of course, because I don't understand Japanese at all. But yeah, I look at it, it doesn't say anything like really to me. Original TV animation, okay, and the trailer didn't do anything, so we're just gonna keep on going. Okay, all right, so Fuuka by Dio Media. Dio Media did Handa-kun and Mayoiga. Mayoiga was a show I watched a little bit of. It seemed like it has some like something going for it, but it just kept going and going. It really wasn't. I wasn't having any fun with it, and it had it was like crazy. Like had like 30 characters, which is way too much for a show like that. This show is about a girl that has like really likes Twitter, which is whenever they bring in like modern like in the now things in these shows, it's always intriguing, at least to me. So when they mentioned Twitter in this little synopsis, I was like, okay. And she I guess is really obsessed with it. I mean, the guy is. The girl in this, I'm guessing it's this blue girl, has like no attachment to technology, I guess, and is completely out of it. And this guy must be the other one. They have a friend that he knows on Twitter, and he ends up being a childhood friend, Koyoki. Yeah, he is a popular singer. So they get together, they meet up, I guess, maybe at one of their concerts or something, and they it becomes a love triangle at some point. That's what it said. So that's why there's the romance tag there. Music, of course. I don't know about the comedy part. Diomedia, like I said, Mayoiga and Honda-kun looked good at least, so I think we should be fine in that regard. The director directed Akuma no Riddle, which I actually watched to completion. It's one of my lowest rated shows that I've ever watched to completion. If you go on my anime list, most of my shows that I've completed have like a 7 or higher, just because I usually don't even finish shows that are like just terrible. But that was the first time I watched seasonally, and I felt bad dropping stuff. And I don't assign scores to like drop stuff. My scores are based on enjoyment. It's not critical in any way. This, like Madoka, I really don't like Madoka, so that was really low on there too. So I mean, not this. I mean Akuma no Riddle. So that I don't have the most faith in this director, but if you're interested, that's there for you. It just didn't do anything for me. All right, here we go. Here's the other JC Staff show, Schoolgirl Strikers Animation Channel. Yeah, so if you watch the PV of this, excellent animation. Looks like it's going to have some good battle scenes. It's JC Staff. Pretty lock in terms of quality of presentation, I think. The director directed Trinity 7, which as far as I know, is that like an ecchi show or like a harem show? It's something like that, I think. So this looks like something along those lines, even though I don't really see a male character in this. And it's set, like it says, a private school for all girls. And in this private school, they are training these people to be part of this fighting force that fights against these unknown being things that are destroying the world. And I guess these 5 are the ones that are selected to do so. So in terms of storytelling, it doesn't, I don't really care about this. I'm going to tell you, first of all, that that these seasons, usually, I feel like I have been roped into way too many shows that actually end up being mediocre at best, or just good, and I want to get to the point where I'm watching just shows that I feel are great. So that's why I'm like cutting out. There won't be as many reactions this season. I actually just added 2 recently, like right before I recorded this video. I was like, I might as well try it, which is a bad thing that I do. I don't know, but this isn't going to be one of them. Like I said, Trinity 7 director, script writer has actually worked on High School DxD, so you know what kind of show that is. I know I watched some of that show. I think I completed season 1, and I watched a little bit of season 2. Working, which I've heard a lot of good things about. He also worked on Shigatsu wa Kimi no Uso, Your Lie in April, which is a fantastic show. If you haven't watched that, make sure you watch that. That is a great drama musical show made by A1 Pictures. It was one of the best shows of last year, I think. It was last year, right? Yeah, so watch that. He also worked on Elfen Lied and Major, which both of those shows are shows that I have not watched yet, and I've heard great things about. So that's that. Alright, so here's one of my more anticipated shows, one of the most anticipated of the season probably. I will say that when I watched Blue Exorcist, I watched it with my roommates in college. We were trying to decide between sub and dub, and we actually ended up going with sub. I don't know why, because usually I just do dub if there's sub and dub. But in this case, I'm glad I did, because now I can watch the seasonally because I'm used to the voices. Blue Exorcist. I think it's a good to great show. Not exceptional. At least season 1 wasn't. And it wasn't amazing. Uh, it was great entertainment. The characters are fun to watch. They are um, interesting, at least. I'm gonna say, if you haven't watched Blue Exorcist, just a little, like, off the top of my head, it's been a little while, but basically the main character is what is it? Oka something. His name is Rin, and he's basically been raised up as the son of a priest. And just one day, I'm just gonna give you a brief, like, he awakens to his powers, and this blue flame comes around. Blue flame actually means Satan. It turns out to be Satan's son, at least one of them, I think. Yeah, one of them, and so it's this conundrum of, okay, this is a kid, but he has the powers of Satan. He's being raised by a priest, but he also isn't a bad person. Like, so he is brought into this exorcism school, which is True Cross Academy, I think that's what it's called. True Cross, something Cross Academy, I think. I forget the name of it. And basically he learns how to harness his power, use it to fight demons and devils. It's a very, like, it's a shonen show, and action is pretty good. It's made by A1 Pictures, of course. You guys should probably know about A1 Pictures. They made some of the best shows recently. Girl in April, as I said earlier. The show Erased. If you're a fan of Fairy Tail, they did the 2014 version of that. Sword Art Online, All Noah Zero. So production, at least, it will be fantastic. The one conundrum I have with this show is that the first season strayed from the manga, so it felt like a little more of a final ending, to the point where, like, the manga continued, and I didn't think we'd get another season of it, but we do have one. So I'm wondering what they're gonna do, if they're just gonna cut out the part where, like where the actual season ended. By the way, please do not talk about spoilers in the comments if you're going to talk about spoilers for this. Like if you're going to talk about season 1 of Blue Exorcist, if you're going to address any of this stuff, make sure you put big cap spoilers, hit enter a ton of times, and then put it, just so people that haven't watched it and they're reading comments are not spoiled. The same goes for any show that you're going to be discussing that it has a season 2 and people haven't watched season 1 of. So yeah, this is going to be adapting the Impure King arc, which is actually 18 chapters in the manga. I looked it up. So I don't know if this is going to be like a 13 episode one, or if they're going to drag it out and do 24. No idea, because I couldn't find an episode count anymore. The thing that bums me out kind of is that this gets to chapter 34, and the manga is on chapter 84, and there's a bunch of arcs that are actually completed. I didn't actually read the names of the arcs just because maybe they would be spoilers, but I did, like, just scroll through. I was like, 1, 2, 3, wow, okay, can't we get more than just this? But then you gotta think, yeah, maybe they're just gauging interest right now, because this show hasn't been out for a while. As soon as I finished Blue Exorcist, I did start reading the manga a little bit. And I got a little bit into the Impure King arc. I was introduced to what the premise is and everything. But I didn't get very far in it. And I'm not going to probably remember much of what I did. So most of it's going to be, like, 95% of it's going to be new to me. So that's why I'm doing a live reaction to it. They also have, I think the entire cast is returning, which is fantastic. They're also having the person who did the music, as well as the character designs. They're back. And then the director is changing. He did Dead Man in Wonderland, he worked on Gangsta, and he did the first Berserk movie. So that's a pretty good pedigree, I think. I looked at the preview of that, of this, and it looked a little different. It looks a little cleaner, and it looks a little shinier, especially the hair, which I don't know if I'm a fan of, but it doesn't look bad at all. It certainly doesn't look bad. It actually looks good. I'm just saying it's a little different, I think. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That should be fun. Alright, so this might be the show that I'm most excited for. This show, right here. Some of you may be going, why would you be excited about this? It's like, it looks like nothing. It's like, okay, this first season of the show got a 10 out of 10 for me, and it was I either was very close or I was legitimately crying in like my like second to last or third to last. I don't know which episode it was, but first of all, it's one of the most unique shows that you'll ever watch in anime. I'm unprivating my reactions to this. I strongly advise you to at least try this show. This show was like criminally underwatched. I can't. I was planning on doing this like a review for this by itself, but I just got super busy with college and I never ended up doing like a recommendation series for this because this series truly deserves this. One of the benefits of being a live reactor is that you have a way to bring attention to things that you deem are worthy of it. You know, like you have some kind of power of influence, and I think this show in particular is something that I really needs the attention. It's about the art of Rakugo, okay? So, like I said, this is going to be completely different. If this synopsis does not sound super interesting to you, trust me, it didn't sound interesting to me either. Someone's like, you told me you have to watch episode 1 at least, and if you're not at least intrigued, you drop it. And I'm going to tell you the same thing. It's about Rakugo, which is the art of, like, storytelling, but with just using yourself. So they'll be on stage kneeling and they have to voice each of the characters. Like, it's entirely by voice and small little actions that you're doing on stage. So it's just about the art of storytelling and how most of it's about these two people that are trying to become really famous and are honing their arts under masters. It starts off actually with not the main. It's going to be okay. So this character right here, this one, is a current master. This guy is a recently released from. He was an inmate, and I believe this master came into the prison and he presented his Rakugo to the prisoners, and this guy was motivated to try his hand at Rakugo. He thought he could be pretty good at it. He wants to become an apprentice, and in that time you get to he has to work his way in, and eventually he gets told the story of his master, like how he got into this status. And it's about these two friends that are like competing with each other in a time where this storytelling isn't actually as popular anymore because the times are moving beyond that. It's during wartime, so there's drama in that sense. There's a really great romance that's a part of it. Just the character drama between these two characters that like it's just like the most like if you can't tell, I'm really passionate about this freaking show. Like the two most complete opposites of characters that have to live with each other and are learning from each other. A prodigy, and then like, oh, dude, just if you're not impressed by that, I don't know what to say. I mean, it just might not be your cup of tea, but you have to just give it a try, please. I'm begging you. Studio Dean, it's done by Studio Dean. I thought that I was not a fan of Studio Dean at all before this. Because they destroyed Log Horizon. Log Horizon Season 2 was like, made me so mad, I can't even put it into words really. And then Fate Stay Night Original, I haven't actually watched it, but I know of a lot of people that complained about it. I also know a lot of people that actually really liked it. So in that, it's a hot and cold thing. But they also did Sakamoto Desuka, which is one of the best comedies ever. So that, and then Rakugo, you have to. I'm just going to say it, just watch it, please. I will be unlisting my reactions. Like I said, it won't be up right away because it takes a little bit. I had to put all the links of the freaking shows on that Facebook group just to give it a shot. If you, like I said, my reactions will be up there too. So if you need someone to watch it alongside me, watch it with me. You'll see exactly how I reacted to it, and by the end of it, like I felt like I was like, wow, I haven't watched anything like this. Alright, that's the end of my rant for this show. I hope I convinced you. We're moving on. Oh, God. Okay. Alright. Demi-chan wa kateritai. Kateritai? Okay, so A1 Pictures once again, great studio, so production should be at least good. Um, First thing when looking at the show, the guy there's a biology teacher in this, and he looks like a freaking Pokemon professor, doesn't he? Like, look at him. He's like this guy looks like he's gonna give me like a freaking Bulbasaur or like a freaking Charmander. He looks like it. But anyways, it's about this guy. He's a biology teacher, and they're in a world where there are demi-humans, and they have integrated into society after actually being persecuted and like hated on for a long time. And once they've gotten assimilated into society, this professor actually is really interested in them, and he wants to like basically find out more about them, and it's about their interactions. Not really something that's my cup of tea right now. So yeah, I mean, it's A1 Pictures, so at least quality wise, I think it should be at least good. But story wise, it doesn't speak to me. All right, Tales of Zestiria the Cross season 2. If you haven't watched season 1, I do really recommend it. Even if you're not a fan of Tales. I'm not a fan of Tales. I've tried playing some of the games, and they were just like, I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand the combat. I couldn't stand the stories. But I watched this show because it's by Ufotable. If you don't know Ufotable, shame on you. One of the top 3 studios, in my opinion: Kyoto Annie, Ufotable, and Madhouse. Top 3 in the industry in terms of quality of their products. This is like, okay, just to clarify, Ufotable also did the best looking show that I've ever seen, which is Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. They did Fate Zero as well. Let's see, what else have they done? Kara no Kyokai, which I have to watch the final movie of, but I need to find time. And they also did God Eater, and those were all done like presentation perfection. This is another one of those. This story is actually really good. The characters are very, very intriguing. It's intriguing. The initial setup is actually not the most interesting in that, there's like this darkness that is approaching, this dragon, like calamity type thing. And there's really only one person who can stop it. That's this main character, Sore, right here. He's known as the Shepherd, bring about, save the people. It's set in like a medieval setting. The kingdom is a very, very beautiful place. Like I said, the characters are really nuanced. Like, I can't even, I didn't expect anything from this, honestly. I was like, all right, this is going to look beautiful, and that's it. And oh my god, like, it looked, dude, it's Ufotable, so I was expecting it to look good, but it's like a different kind of good. Like, God Eater was really different. Ufotable's productions all over the place are pretty different, but they're all done so good every time. So, yeah, so Sore is actually, I think, yeah, he was a human raised with these people called Seraphim, which are people that can't be seen by humans. I think at one point they lived together. Humans and Seraphim lived together, but at some point they were driven away by humans, and they can no longer see them. The Shepherd is someone that can actually see them, and he can basically he's someone who brings people together. And it's about their journey, of course. Great combat. I think the pacing is really good, even though this is just based off a game. You would think an anime based off of like a 50-hour, 40-hour game would not be paced fantastically. It is. So yeah, I would wholeheartedly recommend it. I will be doing season 2. I unfortunately can't do unlisting of this show because I had to delete all the reactions. So when I do this reaction again, I'm going to be doing, I did the tail end. I did a few of the episodes at the end with just a timer. So when I do this, this will be a timer only show, but it's worth it. Just trust me. All right, the next show is an idol show, so we're going to pretty much skip it. But it is done by Mappa. I will say, if you do like idol shows, Mappa is a fantastic studio. I mean, they've done some great work. Yuri on Ice right now they're doing. Days, which is probably their worst thing that they've ever done, but I'm still watching it. I think it's pretty good. They did Shingeki no Bahama Genesis, which I'm waiting for season 2. Zaki no Terror, which I love. Ushizutora, Garo. Garo season 2 was fantastic. Punchline, which was fantastic as well. So they have a pretty good pedigree. So if you do want to watch this show, that's, yeah, I mean, it's a good studio. Now, I was mistaken a second ago, okay? This is my most anticipated. Rakugo is number 2. This is number 1. If you don't know, like, if you haven't watched Gintama, I do think you really, really, really owe it to yourself to watch that as well. It's a long, so I'm not going to be like catch up or anything, but I'd be remiss to not, like, recommend it. Like, first of all, it's the best comedy I have ever watched, period. So the early episodes are very focused on comedy, but there are arcs within these that are pretty serious, and they don't seem out of place, which is crazy. These comedic arcs really, like, build up these characters, so when these serious moments come in, it's like brilliance that I've never. It's crazy. It doesn't even make sense that it works, but it does. It's the most creative show I've ever seen. I think that the freaking author of this series is, like, high every time he writes it or something. Like, how did they come up with this stuff? And frankly, like, this show has made, like, live reaction wise, is the one where I've cried the most. Like, I was bawling like a baby last season. Like, and this, I don't know how much of it we're gonna get. I don't know if it's gonna finish off the series, because the manga is supposed to end very, very soon. I don't know if it'll have ended by the time it releases, but yeah, guys, you owe it to yourself to watch it. I showed a lot of my friends, which are not even fans of anime, and they sat together and would watch any episode I showed them, and they would laugh their asses off. If there's any show where you actually need to introduce someone to the medium, it's like, this is one of those where it can be either, like, so good, or like, wow, this is weird as hell. Why are you showing me this? Like, I knew my friend's sense of humor, so I showed it to them, and they, like, couldn't breathe. They couldn't breathe. It was a specific episode, of course, but yeah. So yeah, I am really, really looking forward to this most anticipated show for sure. All right, Gabriel Dropout. Gabriel Dropout is about a chick that went to angel school, graduated, came down, and then went into human school, and I guess in the middle of it, or she graduated, I'm not sure, she gets addicted to some computer game and becomes super lazy. So, not much of a story there, but the studio, Doga Kobo, is they've done two shows that are actually, one of them is fantastic, and I really need you guys to watch it. And the second one is one I didn't finish, but it was actually really good. The one that was okay was Plastic Memories, which is about these androids that people are keeping. It's really sad because these androids become incorporated into the family, and they, you know, they're like, I think it was like expiration dates, or they just go bad, and like these people are like crying about losing family members, and because they're so close to these people, or like these androids are losing everything that they are, and they're so human. So yeah, that was a really interesting show. I just never ended up finishing it. I don't know why, actually. And then the Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun, great, funny ass comedy. Like, oh man, Nozaki is, like I said, I use these, like, this is why these seasons, like, oh damn, I've already been going on for 34 minutes. There's so much left to go, but Nozaki is about this manga writer who actually draws shoujo manga, and he does like romance shows, but he has no idea, he knows nothing about real life romance, and this chick has a crush on him who loves his manga but also likes him. She finds out that he's the author of this, and they get together, and it's like, oh my god, it's just too funny, because, you know, you'd expect someone who's like making like romance, like really good resonating shoujo, like romance stuff to actually understand women a bit, but he knows nothing. That show's great. Watch that one. I gave it a 10 out of 10. Alright, so next, Chururan Nibun no Ichi. This is a spin-off of a show that I have never watched, so I didn't really look into it. So that's there for those of you that want to watch it, though it says SD form, so I don't know what that means. I'm guessing that the characters look a little different. It's a different format, like Chibi almost. Alright, Yowamushi Pedal, New Generation. I actually watched this entire season a few months back. The 2 seasons. I think I also watched the movie. Or was that recap? I don't remember. Had a lot of fun with the show. It's a sports anime, of course, about biking, team cycling actually. Which, you know, once I started watching sports anime, it got to the point where I'd watch like any sports anime, and this was coming out, so I was like, you know what, I'll catch up on it in my own free time, and I did. The main character is actually one of my least favorite characters, Onoda. He's like one of the most straightforward, like pure main characters ever, which isn't the best for me. My favorite character is Imaizumi, which is this guy here. He's a freaking badass. And my second favorite character is right here. His name is Naruko. And this guy's a complete beginner, of course, like a lot of sports anime, and he learns to be better and better. I mean, there's a good reason why he gets really good, and he already has inherent ability, he just doesn't know about it. So yeah, I mean, this is actually this is a really, really good show. There is like some like super bromance in this show. It's like crazy levels of bromance. I think the nickname of this is like Yowamushi Pedal. Not that it has any of that, but I can see why they would say that. But yeah, if you want a sports anime, this is also a pretty good one. Now I'm gonna, like, if you haven't watched this show and you want to, I will be talking a little bit more about like some of the things that I'm not so looking forward to. So I'm gonna give you 3 seconds to leave. And then I'll put my my hand up again when I'm ready to talk about it. Okay. So I'm going to talk about some things that I'm not looking forward to in this coming episode. 3, 2, 1, talking. All right. So for those of you that have actually watched the first and second season, I don't know how it's going to work without the seniors there. Like, you know, after you win, it's like, you know, how much motivation are they going to have? I really, really liked the captain. I liked the Shinigami guy. What was his name? The guy who was really good on hills. I really liked that. I liked all the seniors that left. And now that they're not going to be there, and then the seniors that you faced in other teams were insane too. The ab guy is still there, I think. So I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. But now we're going to have these two guys, which it's like, they're like freaking water boys, basically. They were in that freaking camp, and I'm not a huge fan of them, but maybe they'll like prove me wrong. And I guess this is. Oh no, this is that one other guy. It's these two. That guy's a main member of the team now. God, dude. Oh man. All right. So I guess they're still going to be the team to beat, of course. I don't know which team these two guys are from. Green. I don't remember. But yeah, those are my main concerns. Onoda, Imaizumi, and Naruko are still there, so I'm going to have a lot of fun with it, at least. So, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of Onoda. Alright. Hand up. Spoilers are through. We're going forward. Alright. Ohihei. This is by a fairly new, I think it is a brand new studio. It's a historical piece about this guy named Hasegawa who's actually a cop, and he's cracking down on crime. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that's okay, but not really interested. Okay, Aka 13ku Kansatsuka. So this is one of the most confusing freaking synopsises that I read. So there's this Kingdom Dowa, and they have a bunch of states, like it says, and then there's this giant organization that looks over other organizations, and the guy in this is part of an inspection agency that goes from place to place checking up on people. that is the premise, but it's by Madhouse, so I'm just gonna give it a try. There's no like actual like PVs that I saw where they're actually like showing anything like in motion animation. It's just like the character designs, which the art and character design looks really cool and unique, which Madhouse is really good at. By the way, Madhouse, you guys should know, One Punch Man, Hunter x Hunter, Monster, Ippo, Death Note, like amazing series. So of course I'm gonna give Madhouse a shot. I mean Parasite, I think that was Madhouse too. So yeah, I don't know too much about this, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I mean, it's Madhouse, so I got to. All right, Handshakers. This is by GoHands, who also did K. And I just added this to. I was originally not gonna watch it at all, but then I watched the trailer and I was like, all right, this could look cool combat-wise at least, because I really like the sweeping camera angles and like the insane powers of K. I also really like the characters, but this, they're like pairs getting together to fight it out, and that's basically what I gathered. They have powers, and that's all I've gathered from this. So there's not a ton that makes me excited to watch it, but because of K, I was like, okay, I should probably try. Yeah. All right, Kimono Friends. I literally, in my research, wrote down excuse to make an Animal Girls anime. That's it. And the art is weird as hell. That's it. Not interested. All right, Chaos Child. Why did I wasn't gonna watch this, I don't think. I'm gonna need to look at the PV again. But this is a mystery show. There's this earthquake and this fire that happens around the same time that ends up killing a bunch of people, like 3,800 people and 30,000 injuries. And this is a visual novel, of course, but I think I read that the game is actually really interesting. The visual novel. So I think that may have been why. But I'm going to watch it on my own. I need a certain amount of shows to watch on my own, so this is going to be one of them. And I think that it's just investigating years later exactly why that happened. There's more to it than what meets the eye. Alright. Kobayashi-san Chi no Maid Dragon. Oh, by the way, that's also by Silverlink. So, yeah, Fate Khalid, Tanaka-kun. And then there's another show earlier this season. This is by Kyoto Annie. Kyoto Annie, one of the best shows. Best studios ever. Clannad, K-On!, Free, Beyond the Boundary, Amagi Brilliant Park, Hibeki Euphonium. Those are all very good shows. Actually, I haven't seen K-On! Or Clannad, so I can't say that for sure, but Amagi Brilliant Park, Beyond the Boundary. I mean, Amagi Brilliant Park was like, okay, but Beyond the Boundary I really enjoyed. Free I really like. And Hibeki Euphonium is amazing. This is like, it looks very ecchi-ish because you get a close-up of like boobs and stuff, and then you also have, I mean, it's ecchi, and then like also the art style is very different. The entire PV is like wrapped, so I think you should watch the PV just to watch it, but it's really weird. And then it's about this dragon that appears at someone's apartment, turns into a little dragon girl, and then starts becoming a roommate with the main character. I don't know. That's what this is about. So, yeah. If you're interested in that, cool. Second season of this, Reikien-zan Ichi Oi no Shikukao. Okay, not really interested. Konosuba Season 2. Konosuba, synopsis for those of you that, well, not synopsis, but like just to get you intrigued. This is actually a really good show, also a really good comedy. Like, I've seen a lot of good comedies, but this is also very good. Based off in like an RPG world, this guy ends up, very first episode, an accident ends his life, and he awakens this is like literally 1 minute into the show. He wakes up and he is presented with a choice. All right, you can either pass on. I think it's like pass on, like rebirth, or you can have a middle choice, which is like save like a world from demons and become the main character or something. He chooses that, and he's allowed to take one thing, and he ends up taking the goddess that is like, she's like, you can have anything you want, one thing, anything. Like, you want the best sword, you want all the money in the world, you can pick whatever. And he like he gets pissed off by her and takes her with him, and it's a great comedy. These people don't know how to survive in this world, and this girl is freaking crazy. So is this girl. It's the weirdest personas. Really funny show. I will be unlisting the reactions for Konosuba as well. Again, if it's not up right away, links is in the description. It will be up at least by tomorrow at some point. So really looking forward to this season 2. Idol show, JC Staff show. It should look good at least. I don't think there was a PV at all. Super Lovers 2. I have no idea what this is about, but I can guess. But it's the second season. Not interested. Okay, Kazu no Honka. I think this is the one about, being the best couple. Some perfect people. By Studio Lerche. I didn't actually look into... I forgot to look into Lerche, but... I think they did the Rampo series. What was it? Oh, man. I can't think of it at the top of my head, but... I watched the PV, I think. And I didn't see anything interesting, so, yeah. Bang Dream, alright, I mean, that's okay. It's another one of those band, idol type shows, so I'm not interested at all, so I didn't look into it. Alright, Granblue Fantasy, this is one that I added to my list of things to watch on my own. It's A1 Pictures, it's also Psy Games. I actually heard that some of the people that worked on Final Fantasy VI actually helped write the mobile game for this. This is a mobile game adaptation. But the only reason I'm watching this, even though it's a mobile game, is because the job that Mappa did with Shingeki no Bahamut Genesis, it was insane. That's one of my favorite shows. So I'm going to give this a shot at least. It should look beautiful. I watched the trailer for it. So yeah, I think it at least looks pretty. It's something I can easily drop if it ends up being super generic. So yeah, it's something I added to my list. Little Witch Academia. I'm actually not too versed in Little Witch Academia. I know that the original was like an episode, I guess, an OVA that was kickstarted, and then there was an alternate. I don't know what the other thing was. There was another funding method. So this has a really interesting history. Of course, Little Witch Academia, I mean, the art is very unique. You can tell right away, right there. It looks very different. It's about like a school of witches. Okay, that's cool. I'm okay with that. It looks interesting. And it's by Trigger, which have a way of things. So they really mess with their show. So Kill la Kill, freaking Kisniver was really good. This I think that was this year. Yeah, that was this year. So yeah, Trigger is the main reason I'll be watching this. Yeah. Damn. All right. Minami Kamakura Koko Joshi Jitensha. Jitensha means bike. You can see bikes in the in this little picture here. JC Staff once again. So, like I've said, it should have at least pretty good production values. Although, seeing how many they're doing, it's you'd think some of these are gonna have a drop in production. So I may not want to say that every time. But yeah, some new girl. I think she transfers over. She's starting high school, and she is learning how to bike better from other people. Not something I'm interested. I already have my biking show for the season, so yep. Rewrite. Didn't watch season 1. I watched a little bit of it. Wasn't interested at all. This one I actually just added to my live reaction list. Also, Yojo Senki. This is based off of a novel. Main reason I added this was because all the reviews I saw of this were saying this was actually a very mature and interesting story with a lot of the tactical layout of the battles and everything is very good, and the author knows exactly what they're doing. So from that standpoint, that intrigued me. At least this image is creepy as hell. If you watch the opening, this little girl is crazy as hell. It's a person that was turned into this little girl. I guess he was a salesman of some kind or a worker somewhere, and he pissed off some god and got turned into a girl, but she's an insane commander. So she's a commander, but she's also wants to be the best witch or something. I don't know. The best sorcerer. She wants to be a badass sorcerer. So it's all over the place. I don't know who's making it, and I don't know much about it. But aside from those things, but from what I've heard, at least, it seems like it will be good. Yeah. All right, Eid Live. I know that some of you are going to be interested in Eid Live just because it's made by the author of Reborn Hitman. But I looked into the PV. I read the story. It actually looks really generic to me. And I looked into a lot of people's thoughts and opinions. It seems like most people said that plot-wise, it's not really that good. So unless some people end up watching it and saying that, oh man, it's amazing, I don't think I'll be watching it. It's also Studio Pierrot. What did they do? I think Studio Pierrot's doing Naruto Shippuden. They've done a few other things, but God, they ruined Shippuden. So, I mean, their last episodes of Naruto, like the actual like final fight and everything, those episodes were amazing. But they're really milking that thing. Not a huge fan of Pierrot, so yeah. All right, then we got sequels. Continuations. Trickster, Roundball, if you're watching that. All Out, I will be continuing reactions to that. That's also Madhouse. If you're interested in rugby, I actually have never watched rugby before. I didn't know any of the rules or anything. I started watching the show. It's actually pretty interesting. It's not the best sports anime, but the art and animation is great. Madhouse. And the characters are actually pretty fun to watch. It's nothing special, I would say, but it's a good time if you're not already watching it. I do have reactions out for it, so yeah, there you go. Pokemon, I haven't watched Pokemon in ages, so I don't think I'm going to continue now. That's there. Classical Load I didn't watch. Three Gatsu no Line. Three Gatsu no Line I'm actually live reacting to now, but I almost feel like turning it into not a live reaction, like just watching it on my own. I don't know. But it's a good show, don't get me wrong. I just don't know if it's one I should live react to. It's been, I don't know, I almost feel like not doing it. You know what I mean? I have this feeling. Tiger Mask W, I watched a little bit of it. That wasn't very good. Monster Hunter Stories. Gundam will keep continuing. I actually have to watch the newest episode. I'll do that tomorrow. As far as shows are concerned, Gundam is okay. It's not the best. It's pretty fun, but not the best. And I have no idea what this is. TV shorts, yeah, don't know any of these really. Not really interested in any of them. They look weird. Kizumonogatari, I will react to all of them when they are all officially released. I think this is the last. Yeah, this is a trilogy, so this is the last one. So this should be soon. I will be starting Monogatari's second season very soon. I do need to brush up on some things before I start reacting on that, but once I get back from my trip, I will be starting that. Chain Chronicle, no idea. This is the studio that actually shut down, so I don't even know why I did this in live reaction. It's not going to be live reaction if I even do watch it. Lupin the Third, I haven't watched any Lupin the Third, so yeah. Again, okay. Digimon, I need to end up watching these. I don't know how many of these they're going to make, but I heard that the Toei was screwing the animation in the first episodes, but it got better as they went, so I don't know exactly about that. Trinity 7, there's more of that for those of you. I heard this movie did fantastic in Japan, so I will be live reacting to that once the official release happens. So yeah. Yuki Yuna, okay. Okay. I will be live reacting to Kuroko no Basket. I love Kuroko no Basket, and this looks amazing. I think this is the one where they face against America or something, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Damn, American Street Volleyball. Basketball. Yeah, definitely will be live reaction for that, but, once it's officially out again. Sword Art, I actually like Sword Art. Say what you will, Sword Art is entertaining. The first half of season 1 was so good. I really liked the first part of Sword Art, but even with it's like like plot holes and stuff that was missing. It could have been way better, but it's still really fun. I also really liked Gun Gil Online part of season 2. That was fun to watch. But everything about the freaking elf part was just terrible. But yeah, I would definitely be watching this. OVAs, Nanbaka. I dropped Nanbaka. I don't know why this is second season as part of the OVAs. I don't know what this is. No. Studio Kara. Studio Kara is the one that did the insanely good looking what is it? Evangelion movies, right? Which I'm waiting for the last one to come out before I watch all of them, but yeah. So this actually could be good. I don't know for sure though. 2 episodes. Okay. Let's zoom out. Back to default. Okay. What are we doing here? Okay. Settings. Okay. Winter. Oh wow, this is almost an hour again. Alright, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 live reactions that are seasonal. And I will be watching 16 shows in total. Wait, did I say 12 or 13? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 15 shows in total. I will guarantee that there will be 1 or 2 drops. It always happens. So, it's probably going to be like this, or maybe this. Yeah, it's probably going to be out of those. Maybe this, because I have no idea about this, but it's Madhouse. So, yeah, that's going to be the season preview for now. Like I said, please give me some time to put up those unlisted reactions. I'm going to do them right after I'm done recording this. So, yeah, hopefully this was informative to you guys. Please watch Rakugo. I implore you, please. And yeah, looking forward to the season. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little preview. As always, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.